Last night you tweeted it was the most surreal and embarrassing night in U.S. soccer history. In history?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. I mean, there's no need to sugarcoat this. It's hard to imagine a worse night in soccer terms for the U.S. I can't think of another more embarrassing night in the history of U.S. soccer. This was a U.S. team that only needed to win or tie against the last place Trinidad team, which had lost 6 straight hexagonal games, and the U.S. would have qualified for the World Cup. But I think also it's important to point out here that the U.S. this didn't just happen last night. This has been happening over the last 12 months. CONCACAF is the easiest region in the world to qualify from for the World Cup. The U.S. had a ton of margin for error, and they still screwed up and failed to qualify for Russia 2018. It is staggering, all of the things that had to come together for this to happen, for the U.S. to miss the World Cup. But that's exactly what happened here, and now the U.S. men are going to miss their first World Cup since 1986.
Yeah, Grant, hard to fathom that this actually did happen. You were at the game. You were with the team afterwards. How would you describe the mood of the U.S. players after the loss?
Completely shell-shocked after the game. Just about every player, Coach Bruce Arena, U.S. Soccer President Sunil Gulati, this was a team that expected to qualify for the World Cup last night, and they didn't. And they're not going to the playoff against Australia. They're not going anywhere. Now, what disappointed me was the response from U.S. Soccer President Sunil Gulati and U.S. Coach Bruce Arena when asked about what kind of changes need to take place now. And they basically said, not much. And that's insane to me. I mean, when this happens, this is a national soccer disaster. World Cups only come around once every 4 years. When you're the United States and you don't make a World Cup, it's a huge missed opportunity to create millions of new fans, as we've seen in the U.S. at every World Cup, men's and women's, that the U.S. has made the last several times. And to respond to this as if, oh, there's not much change that needs to take place. There's a tremendous amount of change that needs to take place in U.S. soccer. This is an opaque, insular federation. There is a presidential election coming in February. And Sunil Gulati, I think it's time to step aside, that somebody needs to come in who's a real person who can get things done, who can come in and change U.S. soccer, because there's so many things from youth development to changes in MLS to needing more soccer people at the top of U.S. soccer to enact the changes that need to take place to prevent something like this from ever happening again.